Hey everyone, welcome to my channel as a married man. I want to thank you all for tuning it in and checking it out. It is here where we talk about love, life, relationships, and more, all from the perspective of a married man. So please go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I'm actually just I'm actually just past 30 subscribers, which is like 10 more than I had for my last video. Now, for me personally, that's like super huge, and I know that's peanuts compared to some channels that that have hundreds of thousands of subs, but I just wanted to say, like, for me, I'm like super stoked, and I'm super happy to see some growth. I making a YouTube channel from nothing but an idea, it's a lot harder than I thought it would be. And yeah, I just wanted to thank all you guys for listening, everyone who's here to check it out. That has liked and subscribed and keeps coming back for more. I just want you all to know I totally appreciate you. But sorry to drone on about that, guys. Just wanted to give you an update on how the channel's doing. But today I am going to be reviewing a video from a fellow YouTube channel called the Happy Wife School. And the video in question is titled Platonic Friends: The Top 3 Reasons Married Women Have Male Friends. So, the woman who runs this channel, her name is Karyn Seitz, and she states on her page that she is a former unhappy wife who emasculated her husband at one time. So it seems that, Karyn learned from her mistake and is now going on to teach both men and women about, proper, healthy marriages and successful marriages and relationships. She saw the error of her ways, and she's using that personal knowledge to teach, and that's great. And this is another video that came upon my feed. The recommended channels on the YouTube algorithm. So I ended up watching a couple videos, and I saw that Karyn has she has some excellent content. Um, in particular, her trad wife video was really eye-opening. So I totally check her channel out, everyone. I will post the link for you to her page. Uh, Tell her I said what's up as a as a married man. It is cool to see that I have a female counterpart out there that's spreading the word of marriage and love and how to do all of that happy and healthy and successfully. But moving on, guys. So her video starts with her talking about how she is a happiness expert, how in the 10 years of working with women, she's found it actually pretty common of women to ask her, is it okay to still have male friends? Or they ask, like, why is my why is my husband getting angry, or why is he jealous I have male friends? And you know, those of you who know are just like, bruh, like, come on now. But Karyn, she actually starts this video by dropping like a huge truth bomb, and that bomb is that it is not possible for married women to have male friends. Like, women cannot have a male friend who is just a friend, There's always going to be hidden agendas, ulterior motives, like secrets behind the stories that the woman ends up telling to her husband. Um, and that goes for men too, of course. Like, Karen goes on to state, like, neither man nor woman, husband nor wife should have friends of the opposite sex. She even goes on to state, like in her personal life, she doesn't spend one-on-one time with men outside of a professional setting. Um, she does this to hold herself to a higher standard of integrity. That it shows her character, and that's she's exactly right there. That is a big sign of integrity that you respect your spouse enough not to spend one-on-one time with a member of the opposite sex, and that's something every married man and woman should remember. But moving on to happy wife's list, here's the first reason why a married woman would want to have a male friend. And reason number one, guys, is because women crave male attention, that male energy. How, a guy makes a woman feel special and important. And, unfortunately, a woman, she'll tend to seek that outside of her marriage. And what sucks about that, as Karyn goes on to state, is that, and this in particular, I thought was an excellent take. She states that a wife gives time, warmth, kindness, and energy to these male friends, all while withholding that from their husbands. That's an excellent take right there. And Karyn goes on to finish by stating that, it's also extremely disrespectful to the husband and to the marriage itself. Her second reason, and this is a big one, is a woman wants a backup. That wife wants a backup plan, a back door out the marriage, so to speak, should it go bad. And this is a character issue, Karyn states. This is a woman who's not taking her marriage vow seriously. Like, she actually goes on to say that, and I was surprised. I was really surprised that Karyn said this, but she admitted it straight up. Yeah, women run when things get hard. Women have that mentality that the grass is greener on the other side. But the unfortunate reality of having that mindset is that where you go, there you are, and like, damn, that's some honesty right there. It doesn't matter where you run. It doesn't matter if you do cross the grass to where you think it's greener. Like, it's where you go. That's where you are now. So, you have to remember that. Um, and she goes on to state, dropping bombs here, like, like these women, the same ones who leave, that take that back door out, that have that backup boyfriend, that backup man. These women, they'll come running back after they realize they've made a mistake. And these women, believe it or not, they won't take any accountability or responsibility for doing so. Um, just hearing that come from a woman is like crazy for me. Coming from the manosphere, it's just crazy hearing a woman say that about her fellow women. But the last reason here, guys, the third reason of why women would want to have a male friend is that they have this fantasy of love. And what I mean by that is, like, women believe in this fantasy notion that there's a man out there that will fill that emptiness within them, that emotional emptiness. They have this notion of a new romantic love, like, permanently. Um, but that can't happen. Like, we all know that. Any of us who have experienced relationships, especially long-term relationships, um, it is just a fantasy. Like, we've all heard of the honeymoon phase in a relationship where everything's great and rose-colored, rose-tinted glasses or whatever. That honeymoon phase eventually ends. I, and that's when a married woman, might turn to a male friend because she'll think that he can fill that void within her, that big emotional void. And then she has this ridiculous notion of this fantasy love that, she saw in Disney movies. And, this dream guy she meets, whether he's a coworker or, some random chat at the gym or whoever, the barista that smiles at her every morning, handing her coffee, she develops this in her mind, this mental fantasy where this guy is the dream husband and the dream man. And it's the reason why the, the married woman, she'll hold on to relationships with former boyfriends, former lovers, like guys she knew in the past. She'll follow them on social media, and she's doing this to leave that back door open, to save room for this fantasy guy that's going to fulfill that emotional void that she's created. And she thinks she can find it outside the marriage. Unfortunately, she thinks that she can't find it with her husband, and that's sad. um Karen, she goes on to state, check to use a quote from the movie Sabrina, which I thought was pretty relevant. And the quote states, beware of an illusion. It has no flaws. Like, that's something women don't take into account when they have that fantasy man. Um, they don't understand that, once the illusion fades, reality's going to kick in. Um, and reality's pretty harsh, unfortunately. An illusion has no flaws. A woman doesn't see flaws with these fantasy men that they think can fulfill this empty void in their lives. Um, but they learn the hard way, unfortunately. And unfortunately, there's a lot of collateral damage, as in the husband and children and stuff. When that marriage disintegrates. But anyways, guys, that's Karen's top three reasons why a woman would have male friends. So, ladies, just remember, rule number one here, like, it's not appropriate to have male friends when you're married. Like, it shows your character, it shows your integrity, um, and lack thereof. And it leads to temptation in a relationship. Like, even if you don't act on it, like, those thoughts and intentions, they count. And and Karen states, like, your husband notices that. And as a married man, I can say that 100%. Like, yes, like, we do notice when something's off with our women. Like, guys will often proclaim that they have a gut feeling, that they have a suspicion, they have like something's amiss in the relationship, that your girl is acting off, and she's acting different. And unfortunately, sometimes it's a sign, a red flag, as they call it in the manosphere. You start seeing those red flags as the woman starts seeking, emotional or physical comfort with another man. Um, but how can this be fixed? Is how Karen ends, this video. How can a woman fix this? And to fill this emptiness, or a humanness, as Karen Happy Wife calls it. What a woman has to do is that she needs to learn how to give herself and find within herself, the good feelings that she seeks from another man. Like, she needs to learn how to love herself, basically. Like, if you're going and searching for feelings elsewhere, you need to work on yourself first, because it's only you who can make yourself happy. And that's the truth right there. If you can't learn to love yourself, if you can't seek personal fulfillment, you're never going to find it looking for it in another man. Um, and all of this is what Karyn, she states it as the journey of being happy. And this is something that, Karyn teaches in her happiness course. She calls it her Happy Wife program, is basically teaching women how to learn to love themselves, how to find that emotional fulfillment instead of straying from the marriage with another man that they might have, in their back pocket, so to speak. So that's a pretty noble cause from Karyn right there. That she's actively working with women, trying to teach them how to seek fulfillment within themselves. Um, and that's what I like about her channel. So, like, guys, and this goes out to all the men out there. Like, guys, if your wife has a male friend, and this is what Karyn states to end up her video. If your wife has a male friend, you know for certain that she has a back door. And that means she's not fully committed. That means she has a backup plan, guys. And the more angry she becomes when you confront her about it, that's the more you know that they're not they're more than just friends, basically. Like there's a hidden agenda there. Like she's hiding the male attention she's getting. And that's what that all comes from Karyn right there. If your wife goes volatile, if she goes ballistic when you start questioning her about all these male friends, like if she gets angry at that, she's hiding something. And that's, as I said, guys, in the manosphere, that's what's called a red flag right there. Um, and now lastly, guys, um, just know that this kind of goes both ways. Um, there's a lot of naive men out there, and don't be fooled by women who reach out to you, like especially married women. So understand, married men, that if you have women reaching out for you who want to all of a sudden be friends, who go out for drinks or go meet somewhere or just talk on the phone, that they might becoming emotionally vested in you, and they might have bad intentions. Let's just sum it up that way, guys. But anyways, everyone, that was Happy Wife School's video. That was Karyn's video on why women have male friends. And what is my opinion on this as a married man? Like, can married women have male friends? My answer as a married man, no. Hell no. Like I often say, like married women, they can't have male friends. And it took Karyn's video here to make me think a little deeper on the subject, which was nice. Like I never really used to say, well, why? But other than the fact that they might get tempted to cheat, that was kind of my default. Like, no, I gotta tell my wife, no, you can't have male friends. Well, because you might cheat, that's why. But like it's interesting to hear from Ken and how it goes a lot deeper than that. Um, so it's nice to hear a woman's point of view on that. Let me just go over Karyn's list one more time, real fast. Like her number one was that women crave male attention. Now I'm thinking about every red-pilled MTOW men's relationship YouTuber right now. They all say the same thing. Um, Women crave male attention. That's a truth right there, And I want to bring up what Karyn said earlier. Like she made a really good point. Wives, they'll give their time, their warmth, their kindness, their energy to these male friends, and all while withholding that from their husbands. Like it's not jealous to want 100% of your wife's love, to want other than children and whatnot. But a man should be a wife's first priority. If you're a married woman, your husband should be your first priority, not Chad at the office or yoga Chad or some guy that you have in your mind is the dream person you should have ended up with. Um, but women, they develop emotional relationships, and these emotional relationships, they often turn physical, unfortunately. And as I said, that's the story that launched 1,000 Reddit relationship cheating channels. Like, a woman straying from her relationship because she craves male attention. Like, God, that's such a cliche in the manosphere. But yeah, moving on to number two, is that a woman wants to have a backup boyfriend, a backup plan, a plan B. And like, like once again, like my red pill brethren are laughing, listening to this. Like, this is like such a cliche about women. They always will have a plan B in their back pocket. And that's why a woman would want to have a male friend in her sphere of influence because she wants that plan B. Um, like, your replacement as her husband is on standby and waiting, and that's a scary thought for a lot of guys. And Karyn continued dropping bombs here. Like, she stated, women run when things get hard, you know? And they'll only come back after they realize they effed up. Um, I got personally, like, it was just like last night as I was going to bed, I was brushing my teeth and whatnot. I literally was listening to a YouTuber. He's one of them dudes that sits in their car. I don't want to say his name. I don't want to get in trouble or anything. But anyways, this guy was telling a story about a husband who was injured in an accident, and that injury caused him to go sterile. I think it's sterile. He couldn't have kids anymore. And as he's recovering from this injury, injury to his leg as well, his wife was cheating on him and she ended up divorcing him. Like, things got hard and his wife left him and with a backup boyfriend, just so she could play house again, so she can have more kids. And I was reminded of that story listening to Karyn speak, and like, even Karyn mentions that a type of woman who does this, like, they'll have no accountability for doing it, and they'll take no responsibility for doing it, and that's insane, and that's something that it's so you hear it all the time in the manosphere that, like, just women won't take accountability for their actions, that they'll run when times get tough, and just having a man in their peripheral, in their back pocket that they can run to, that's a huge red flag. That's a huge warning sign. Um, but moving on to number three, like, Karyn's last point of why a woman would want a male friend, it's they have this fantasy of love, like women love being in love. If you can dig it, like, they love the idea of being in love. They love the concept of it. They love those feelings that it gives them. That honeymoon phase. Like, every woman wants to get married, to have a big, huge wedding, to be the princess for a day, to have that honeymoon somewhere special. The love that comes with it and the passion. Women crave it. Women crave attention. They crave passion. They crave excitement. And unfortunately, women, once they lose it with their husband, they'll start looking for it with another man. And Karyn goes on to quote the movie Sabrina, like, beware an illusion, it has no flaws. Like, like, women will find a Chad, and then build this entire fantasy around him. This rogue bad boy, named Jim Chad with the chiseled jaw and the 1986 M6 BMW Alpina. Yeah, that's the car I used to have, and now I'm depressed. That's a Chad car, by the way. I guess that's why I don't have it. Anyways, like it isn't until she gets like pumped and dumped by this Chad. It isn't until that relationship with him becomes sour. It isn't until that illusion fades and she sees this guy for who he is. It wasn't, and unfortunately, it isn't until her marriage is ruined and her husband's gone and her children are traumatized. It isn't until then that she reflects back, and even then, like I said, a lot of times they won't even take accountability for it. But women love being in love, and that's the point of, number three on this list. They'll build a fantasy around a man thinking he can fulfill this need within her, and he can't, because only she can find it within herself, which is what Karyn went on to state. Um, but Happy Wife School, she closes all this out by stating, as I said, like, women need to fill that emotional emptiness within themselves. And I've always said, as a married man, like, you can't rely on others to make you happy. Like, you have to make yourself happy. You have to find the fulfillment within yourself, like by working on yourself. Like me personally, as a married man, like, yeah, I'm learning a language. I'm trying to learn German, getting there. I exercise, I hit the gym. I'm always trying to learn. I created this YouTube channel, which was what I was droning on about in the beginning. I'm building the most rad 80s toy collection you've ever seen. Like, but like seriously, like that's me working on myself, trying to fulfill that emotional void within myself as a man. Um, but it's true though, like women are emotional. That's the truth. Like women are emotional creatures, and like they seek that emotional fulfillment. And the problem there is they'll go looking in another man for that fulfillment instead of trying to find it within themselves. And even Karyn, like Happy Wife School states, they have to find it within themselves because they'll never find it anywhere else. And married men, they need to do the same. As I said, like being a married man myself, like work on yourself, work on your marriage. And Karyn reiterates that, and it's excellent information, like giving attention to strange men and or strange women, like giving them emotional attention. Like I'll just leave it with Karyn's quote from earlier, like you're giving the kindness, the warmth, the time, and the love to someone who's not your spouse. Like that's so well said on her part. Like in my marriage, to end this off fast, I'm about to hit 30 minutes here. In my marriage with my wife, like we don't have friends who are the opposite sex. Like I don't have female friends. My wife has no male friends. Like I remember when I worked at my previous job, I had a female coworker, and we were both playing Pokemon Go. Um, yeah, that is kind of funny. I don't play it anymore, by the way. But I played Pokemon Go with this woman on my break, and she added me as a friend on Pokemon Go, and before I knew it, like she started texting me and stuff, like outside of work, and my wife was like, "What the fuck is this? Like, who is this woman?" And it took a minute for me to realize, like, oh. Like this is just a woman at work I play Pokemon Go with, and my wife was like, "Why the fuck is she texting you?" And it's kind of a wake up call. Like, so I guess I was the naive man in that situation where I didn't see that just a simple work friendship playing this stupid Pokemon game Like all of a sudden, she was messaging me and asking how my day was going, and it crossed the boundary there, and like I can understand my wife getting upset, because that was inappropriate, and I shouldn't have allowed that, and that was my bad. Like I should have told her, like, don't I can't give you my phone number. I like we can play Pokemon at work, but like if this is going to develop into an emotional friendship on your end or something, or emotional bond, or I don't want anything to go any further than this stupid game. You dig it? Like that was my lesson on a personal note of something that went kind of awry in my own marriage. Um, but yeah, that was my learning experience. It happened so easy I didn't even notice it. But yeah, I apologize for droning on everyone. So once again, to close out today's video, this video was from the Happy Wife School. Her name is Karyn Seitz. I want to thank her. It was an excellent video, and the topic was great. She gave some great information. So guys, go ahead, check out her channel. Give her a like, give her a sub. Tell her the married man says, what's up? Maybe she'll want to play Pokemon Go. She does have more subscribers than me, so she's my mortal enemy now. But yeah, everyone, just go ahead and give me your thoughts in the comments, what you think. Like and subscribe. You have any vintage 80s toys, G.I. Joe or Star Wars, He-Man, yeah, definitely send me a message, as a married man at outlook.com. Just hit me up if you have a topic for another video, or you want to say hi, need some clarification. But I want to thank you all for listening, guys. I appreciate you. Um, this channel's a work in progress. It's something I'm doing to fill that void within me, some personal fulfillment, something I can really focus my energy on. And I appreciate you all for being here along for the ride. I'll definitely see you guys in the next video. Thank you. Thank you very much, guys. Bye for now.